Well, they're sending a very strong message that they are taking this seriously and they want Australia to do the same. They see it as one of the simpler, straightforward steps they can take to show their displeasure. Marty Natalegawa, the Foreign Affairs Minister, gave a very strong press conference when he announced that this would be happening. He made several strong and unequivocal statements that it had not been a good day, that the moves by Australia were not smart, and that there were no legal instruments could justify what Australia had apparently done in terms of trying to tap into the phones of the President and senior people around him. So they've recalled their ambassador back to Jakarta for consultations. They've also said they're going to review the level of cooperation when it comes to information sharing between the two countries, and they have asked for an explanation. Again, they're asking Australia for an explanation about what does this actually mean, what activities are you up to, and what information have you gathered.
What other reaction has there been in Indonesia?
During the day, the reaction became stronger. Initially, the news was met with disbelief. The people, especially those on the target list, so to speak, but when they were made aware of it, they became angry, disappointed. Some of those who are on the list are now serving senior positions, such as Hadi Rajasa, who's the coordinating minister for the economy. He initially was very careful with his comments, but then when he thought about it a bit more, he said, well, you know, this is just unacceptable. What if state secrets have been gathered? That is illegal. Another man who was on the list is Yusuf Kala, who was a vice president at the time that this apparent attempt to tap into phones took place. And he was aghast. He said, well, that would be illegal if it did happen. And if it did happen, Australia should explain it and also apologise. You know, this kind of thing is just not acceptable. So that kind of tenor was then picked up by the Foreign Affairs Minister, Marty Natalegawa, later in the day when he gave his press conference. He was actually visibly angry at some points and also a bit upset, it seemed, which is unusual for him. He's the consummate diplomat, one of the best in the region, considered to be one of the best in the region, and very careful with his words. But he was clearly angry and made it known. And now this issue has been picked up much more by the Indonesian press, the media. It's been running non-stop on the news tonight. Marty Natalegawa has gone on local news, as have others, to talk about it.
You mentioned those calls for an apology. Is that what the Indonesian government is expecting now from Australia, some sort of act of contrition?
Some sort of act of contrition. I wouldn't go as far as an apology, even though some may think that is what is required. What is said is that Australia needs to explain. It needs to clarify what is going on, and it needs to do that publicly and to offer the response that it has to date. Whereas, you know, this is what happens, this is a normal course of activities, is simply not acceptable. It was described, in fact, as a dismissive way to deal with this serious issue, and that sort of response would not be expected. Now, what's interesting is that a very senior minister here, Joko Suyang, is actually the man in charge of the people smuggling issue, has come out on local media and said that given that it's the Tony Abbott government, which obviously wasn't in power in 2009 when this occurred, you know, we can give him a bit of leeway. We can give him a bit of time to formulate a response and talk to people about it. And this is a great opportunity for the government to amend this fracture in the friendship. You know, this is a great opportunity to do some damage control, but we would expect something in the next couple of days. So they want a proper explanation. They don't want the usual response that they're getting from Australia. They want it made public, and they'd like it fairly soon. In fact, as Natalegawa put it, he said, you know, Australia, it's now your turn.